Goalenu, Zurenu, Atahu, Elohenu, Torah Rabba, Lepa'am Hazeh, Ki Atahayita Itanu, Mepa'am Asher Anatnu, Hit Pagashnu, Ad Hapa'am Hazeh, Meleka Olam Bebakwasha, Tiyena in Bene Yisrael, Wagam Kain Tishmor na et Bene Yaakov, Wagam Kain na Yehovah Elohim, Tiyena im Zera Lewi, Wagam Kain Al na Tishkak et Mishpakot Yehuda, na Yehovah Elohe Yisrael, Tis Kodena et Kol Shite Yisrael, Wagam Kain Tish Marenu, Wagam Kain Tikwa Bel Tefilotenu Naya, Wagam Kain Meleka Olam, Shublanu et Talbutenu, Shublanu et Sefatenu, Ki Atahu wa in Kimoka, Bashamai Mobaadet, Tiena Itanu Bakita Hazot, Wagam Kain Meleka Olam, Alna Ta'az Benu, Ki Anatnu, Zorachim Okali Yopachayenu, Babakushaya, Alna Tishkak et Bene Israel, Wa Alna Tishenu, Wagam Kain Alna Taharonu, Ki Enenu Yekolim Lik Yot, Billy Yat Kabakayenu, Titain Lanu Babakushaya, Et Shalomka, Wagam Kain Na Yehovah Eloheinu, Titain Lanu Et Kimlaka, Wagam Kain Rachameka, Wagam Kain Kod Debarim Hatobim, Aleka Lanu, Ki Anaknu Mitpadim Araklaka, Wa'in Elzar Anaknu Korim Gam Kain. Hallelujah! 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 Amen, amen. Giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. This right here is Hebrew lesson number 27. Now, this is the Gregorian calendar, the month of December. Right? And we've been dealing with this Hebrew class since the era of what we call the month of what they call the month of March. So what I'm going to do in this stance, about an hour and a half presentation in the class here, is go over aspects of what we did in lesson 1, lesson 14, and then get into the core of lesson 27. Now we're going to start with this right here. Pardon, we don't have the Hebrew chart up. We got this right here, right? Aleph, Bet, and Gemel. If you remember, Aleph makes no sound. Bet makes the B sound. Gemel, the G sound. Aleph meaning 1,000. Bet meaning house or house of. Gemel meaning camel. Then we have Dalit, Hey, and Wow. Dalit making the D sound. Hey making the H sound. And Wow making the W sound. Dalit meaning door, hey meaning behold or window, and wow meaning hook. All right, and you see that in the book of Exodus, the word wow or waween, all right, meaning hooks. Then we got Zion, Ket, all right, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, right? Zion meaning weapon. Not to be confused with Mount Zion. We'll deal with that another time. All right. Zion, meaning weapon, making a Z sound. Chet, making a KH or the CH strong sound, as in the word ak. You got Tet, meaning snake. Oh, by the way, this means weapon. This means fence. Tet means fence. And Tet means snake. All right. Making a T sound. Then we have Yod, meaning hand, making a Y sound. Kaf. All right, meaning spawn or the palm of one's hand. And that makes the K sound. All right, then we got Lamed. Lamed meaning teach. All right, and that making the L sound. All right. Then we have Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pei/Fe. Mem, all right, meaning water, making the M sound. Nun, meaning fish, making the N sound, as in no or nay. All right. Samek, meaning support. All right, making basically the S sound. Ayin, meaning I. Many scholars say that does make a sound. Most biblical translators say ayin doesn't have a sound. So one of the things that many people say concerning the letter ayin is that it's really, in reality, what they call a guttural, like ayin, that type of aspect. All right, like a guttural, meaning that you're saying it from your throat aspect. Then we got pay. All right, also fe. All right, and that making the P or the F sound. All right, and that means mouth. Now, actually, in ancient days, there was no fe. It was just pay. Like there was no vet. It was just bet. All right. Then we have. Okay, let me get a better marker. All right. Then we have Zadeh, Kuf, Resh, Sheen, and Tau. All right. So Zadeh, all right, they say means fish hook, making it the TZ sound. All right. Then you got Kuf, which they say means monkey or the back of one's head, making a Q or the KW or the QU sound. All right. Then we got Resh, making the R sound. All right. Resh meaning head or leader. Then we got Sheen. All right. And that making the sh sound as in the word shalom. All right. Then we got Tau, actually said by many scholars as Thou. So this is where you get Shiboleth and Shalomith. Many scholars actually say what we say as Tau is really the TH sound. So I just want to sit there and go over this aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Hebrew has 22 letters, and you see these when you go into the book of Psalms, chapter 100, all right, and 19. So I just want that to be shown for edification purpose and edification usage. All right, so I'm going to erase this. That's like what I was tagging online on my Facebook page in regards to review of lesson 1. And we just reviewed it. Okay, so if there's any questions or comments, let me know in that particular aspect. Questions, comments? Okay, you're welcome. Glory to the Most High. Now, what we're dealing with, okay, in this particular aspect, all right, we're going to move on. I got to sit there and deal with the drying aspects. By the way, the word Yabash means to dry. All right? Just so one can understand that. Just like the word Yabasha means dry land. When you go in the book of Genesis, just for edification purposes. Okay. All right. So now I want to go over a couple of things in this particular aspect. Now, the Shabbat before last, right? I went over Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. We did that also in this particular lesson here. So you can go and see more of that on Shema Yisrael Shabbat teachings that was done Shabbat before last. November 26th, the second service. All right? Then when you go and look under Deuteronomy 28:68 explained, that too was also done in that particular regard inside of an actual lesson. So that's actually on the Shema Yisrael HIC2 YouTube channel. You understand? So as far as it goes in that particular case. Next thing we want to sit there and deal with in this particular aspect, all right? Just a couple of verbs for edification purposes. We have this word here that we went over. All right. Now, this here, all right, is the Hebrew word heshi. Okay. And it starts with a hey, and its root form is just that in the hifil stem. Now, I want to write this out. Hifil stem. Hif il. All right, and this is the 5th or the 7th stem. Depends. Some scholars say it's the 5th stem. Some scholars say it's the 7th stem. In the 201 Word Book, they'll tell you that it is the 5th stem. It is generally the causative of the qual. All right. So Heshib, which is used in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, where Heshib ka. This is the root of it right here. Heshib means to cause one to return. All right. To cause one to come back. All right. So that's what that's talking about in that particular regard. So just want that to be noted for edification purposes. All right. Next thing, all right, to go over in this particular aspect is this word here, which we've done before, but want to do it yet again for edification purposes. All right. Mizraim. All right. Now, Koto, the word Mizraim is generally stated by many, right, to mean Egypt. Yet the word Mizraim is not even the word the ancient Egyptians called themselves. All right? It's the name the Israelites called that people. All right? Just like the ancient people of Sumer. All right? They called that people called the Egyptians the people of Magan, M-A-G-A-N. All right? So this is a generic term in all reality that the Israelites used on the people when they was in their particular land, in their particular captive state. So this is something to be noted for edification purposes. All right, so that way we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. When we look at this word right here, right, as went over before, this is all being from lesson 14 now. All right, the word zor means distress or trouble. All right, so distress or trouble. All right, now, for edification purposes in Hebrew, that is what they refer to as an ayin waw verb, because it's a verb that has the waw as the second root letter. So when you conjugate it, okay, in the past tense, all right, the waw drops out. So it's zorti, zorta, zort, zor, zara, zornu, zortem, zorten, zaru. All right, if you remember the ayin waw breakdown in that particular aspect within the qual stem. All right, just like we did the word quam, meaning to rise. All right, quanti, quamta, so forth and so on. If you deal with the word shu, meaning to return in the in the qual stem. All right, shabti, shabta, shab, so forth and so on. Same aspect, same premise. All right, this is what we call Hebrew edification. So I just want that to be noted for reason and purposes. All right, now I want to go over in this particular book right here. This right here being the Ben Yehuda Hebrew English Dictionary. We're going to look at on the Hebrew side, right? If we will. On page 177. Okay, so we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. Can I be heard clearly? Can I be heard clearly? All right. So you see in the yellow right there? Let me know. Up, down, sideways, what? Right there. Talk to me. Up? Right there. All right. So you see where it says Metzar, up, Metzarim, Mem Zadeh Resh Yod Mem. And what does it mean? Distress or boundary or isthmus. All right? Metzarim. As you may see right there. This is page 177. The Hebrew word metzar means distress. So, as shown in that particular aspect. So, when we're dealing with Mizraim, all right, Mizraim, distress, metzar, distress. And we already shown that inside of the dictionary. See, this is the pluralization of this word. This is the dual plural of this word. So you have Mizraim, right? Which means distress, like plural. Trouble or troubles, plural. Mitzar, the singular. And the dual plural is Mitzrayim. So I just want that to be known and seen from the dictionary for edification purposes. the same spelling that they say means Egypt is the same spelling that they also say means distress. So obviously the Egyptians who are called Egyptians didn't call themselves distressed. You understand? The Israelites called them that because of the condition that they was going through in their particular land at that particular time. All right, so I just want that to be noted. So when we read the Most High will see you back in the English translation in ships, all right, to Egypt, what we're reading is the Most High will send you back in double distress in ships. So just want that to be noted for edification purposes. All right, so are there any questions concerning this kind of matter? Questions, comments, complaints? All right, so it could be noted for edification purposes. This is how in Shema Yisrael, this is how we teach Hebrew at this point. All right, now I get certain kind of notifications or people who let me know that they watch the class that I don't even know who in the world they are from a hole in the wall. What does that mean then? That means how you come off to people is very important. How you represent yourself is very important. Therefore, as an adult, 36 years old, blessed be the Most High, you understand, not to get too personal, that I made it to this point in my life when I just knew between me and Yah, thank the Most High, I knew I was going to be dead before 31. But that's a whole nother subject in my personal life. So to be able to stand and to teach this at this present age, to me, I take it not as a joke. I don't take this as an LOL matter. I don't take this as a smiley face matter. You understand? I take this very, very serious. You understand? Now, am I the best Hebrew teacher? If somebody told you that, they lied. But at the same token, I do know and understand that this is not something to be played with because you're standing in front of the Most High's people. You're standing in front saying you are speaking and teaching on the language that the ancient ones spoke. So sometimes you have to be, you know, serious and not about clowning and games. All right? So as far as it goes down in that particular matter. All right. Want to go over, okay, this word here. The word chana. Okay. All right. The word chana. All right. A verb. All right. That's a hey. This word here, all right, means to encamp. So chaniti means I encamped. Chanita means you encamped. Because as we see, it ends with a hey, thus it becomes a lamed hey verb. Now, the word chana, when you put, as we already went over in times past, a mem in front of a verb, it becomes its noun. All right? So now we got machane. All right? And machane means camp. All right? So there are many people who say, well, I don't deal with no camp and I'm not a part of a camp. Listen, camp has never been a problem in Israel. Israel's problem is what we read of in Ezekiel 22. I'm going to ask the brother to read that, please. Give me Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 6, so we can gain an understanding of what the problem is. And let's see if the Most High said is part of the camp. Or let's see if it's what the Most High said itself. Ezekiel or Yechezkel chapter 22, verse 6. Torah.
Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 6. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Look, the princes of Israel, each one has used his powers to shed blood in you. In you, they made light of the father and mother.
Meaning they disrespected their parents. Read.
In your midst, they have oppressed the stranger. In you, they have mistreated the fatherless and the widow.
All right, so in the midst of you, meaning in the land, not in the camp. Read on. So it's given the list of the wickedness of the Israelites. It says they oppressed the fatherless and the widow and the stranger. All right, and disrespected their parents. Read on.
You have despised my holy things and profaned my Sabbath.
Read on.
And you are men who slandered, cause bloodshed. And you are those who eat on the mountains. In your midst, they commit lewdness.
Now, committing lewdness is like what Leviticus 18 talks about. Homosexuality, threesomes, lesbianism. And if you don't understand that, it says that specifically in the book of Amos. where it says a man and his father go into the same name to profane the holy name of the Most High. You see, so just to give an example in that particular regard, read on.
And you men uncover their father's nakedness.
Right, in other words, they sleep with their father's wife.
And they violate women who are set apart during their impurity.
Meaning when she's on her menstrual, they're like, it don't matter, red rings. Read on.
One commits abominations with his neighbor's wife.
Adultery.
Another lunatic defiles his daughter-in-law, and you violate his sisters, his father's daughter. In other words, just like you had some women, no offense intended, you understand, calling up, oh, I slept with my boyfriend's father, and that kind of aspect, that's wickedness. You understand? If your son is old enough and he has a lady in his life, you don't try to move on your son's lady. Come on now, that's wickedness. That's what it talks about in ancient Israel. Read on. And you take bribes to shed blood. Right. You take on sure and increase. You have made profit from your neighbors by extortion. Right. Forgotten me, says the Lord thy God. Meaning, forgetting the Most High is what caused the people eventually to fall. They dealt with extortion. They dealt with blackmail. They dealt with all these kind of aspects. And nowhere in there did the Most High say, and you have set up a camp, and therefore that's part of your wickedness. No, what happens is people, unfortunately, have been wicked and brought their wickedness into a camp. It's not so much that the camp is off, it's the people doing those kind of things are off. So the camp ain't the problem. You understand? So let's understand. It's just like, oh, it's a bad school. No, it's the people in the school. The school is a building. So just want that to be noted for edification purposes. So machane, all right, getting back to the Hebrew. When you add a mem in front of its noun, all right, means a camp. So the plural of this word here, right, is note. Right? Machanot is camps. All right? Then we have machanayim. All right? Meaning two camps. All right? Just want that to be noted for edification purposes. Machane, machanot, machanayim. Two camps. All right? We got machanot, camps, machane, camp, and chana, which means to encamp. All right? Any questions or comments? All right. So that way we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about and what we're dealing with. All right. I'm going to ask the brother to please read Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. Toda Rabbah. All right? We are in the book of Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter and 9th verse. All right? So, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. Toda Rabbah. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
For then I will restore to the people a pure language, that they may all call on the name of the Lord, to serve him with one accord.
So, many people say, well, that Hebrew that you're teaching ain't the real Hebrew, and it says that the people will be turned to a pure language. And that's where they end their presentation at. But that's not where the verse ends. It says the Most High will turn to the people a pure language. Why? Read.
From beyond the...
No, in the same verse.
That they may all call on the name of the Lord to serve him with one accord.
So it's not about vowels or no vowels. It's about serving the Most High with one accord. That's what it talks about when the Most High said a pure language. When you have profanity, other names of other gods in your mouth, in your mind, in your heart, that is not a pure language. Because when you're speaking, you still got the idol in your head. So therefore, it's not in its purity. So when it says that the Most High will turn to the people in pure language, it tells you why. That they may all call upon Yah to serve him with one consent. To call and to serve. They forgot that part when they want to snap on the Hebrew that we teach it. So I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. Now, all right, we're going to move on in this particular aspect. Okay. So hopefully this could be noted and understood for reasoning purposes. Okay. We intend, brothers and sisters, to continue these classes with the breath of life and strength that the Most High gives. You can tell, no offense, when a person does not deal and have a mindset toward the Most High and serving him with one consent, because everything is just a disrespect, a snap, and a diss. I am not standing in front of the people trying to belittle the people. You understand? You do not do that. The Most High, heaven forbid, may take away the knowledge and wisdom that he's given you. He did not give that to you to try to belittle your brother or your sister. You do not say, I studied it, you can learn your own way. That's not why the Most High gave that to you. You don't say to your brother or sister, ha ha, you saying you a Hebrew, but you can't spell your name in Hebrew. If you know your brother or sister can't, and you know how, you teach them. Like many of our grandmothers, believe it or not, and grandfathers taught our great-grandparents back in the South how to write their English name. That's a part of Black history many of us don't care to talk about. Many of our great-grandparents had to work extra time as children and did not sit in the classroom to learn how to read and write, and did not have any time for homeschooling. These people don't have children. Some of our grandparents done taught our great-grandparents how to spell their English name. So here's my point, and check it out in the South. I'm not making this up. You understand? So here's the point of what I'm saying. Once it comes down to when the Most High has blessed you to be able to present a case, do it in humility. I know people say, oh, you shout and you may talk fast, but I'm not trying to sit there and humiliate. And I'm open to constructive criticism, okay? So we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. Now, we're going to sit there and deal, all right, in this here, lesson 27, Hitpa'el, all right? Which in Hebrew, in many cases, deals with the aspect of the reflexive, all right? So we gain an understanding of what we're talking about and what we're dealing with. This is treated by many scholars as either the 5th or 7th stem, all right? And it is generally noted for it to be, as stated, the reflexive of the qual. Also, it can be used as the passive of the qual in several aspects. All right, so what we're going to do, because this right here is like the advanced part of the kind of classes that we're dealing with, all right? Because if you watch from lesson 1 to lesson 24, you'll be able to know your verbs, your nouns, how to read, the vowels, conjugations, nouns, masculine, feminine, possession of them, my horses, my female horses or my mares, Suso Tai, Dodo Tai, my aunts, Dodai, Dodayik, your uncles, when you're speaking to a female about her uncles. We went over all of that. If you look at all of those lessons, you'll be able to sit there and follow along in that particular aspect and in that particular pattern. Okay, so what we're going to deal with, all right, is this here. We have the word in the qual stem here, right? Rakat. Does anybody here know what the word rakats mean? Okay, it means the word to wash. Okay, to wash. Okay, and the hitpa'el of it is this word here. Hit rakets. Okay? Hit rakets means to wash oneself. So in the past tense, it will be said as hit rakatsi, I washed myself. All right? So if I were to say rakatsti means I washed. Rakatsti hakelim, I washed the dishes. Rakatsta hakelim, you wash the dishes. Tarakzi hakelim, you will wash the dishes when you're speaking to a female. Hit rakatsti hakelim is incorrect. All right? You can't say I wash myself the dishes. That's incorrect in Hebrew. So this is what we refer to in many cases as, okay, the reflexive in Hebrew. Okay, now we have the word hit rakatsti. Now, let me deal with this particular aspect. Oh, by the way, this is what you call regular nouns, or pardon me, regular verb in the hitpa'el. Okay? Now, if you remember our chart with the word pa'al, right? You had the lamed hey, the lamed aleph, the pei nun, and so forth and so on. The way it works in this aspect, we have a lamed aleph verb, right? Such as this here. The word ma'zah, all right? And that means to find. So, okay, the way that's said in that aspect is hit ma'zeh. All right, so we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. All right, ma'zah, to find. Hit ma'zeh, to be found. All right, so I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. All right, hit ma'zeh. All right, now this off being the past tense, like hit ma'zeh would mean he was found, all right? So in that particular case, in that aspect, it works as, okay, the passive. Then we have the word bana, all right? This is a lamed hey verb because it ends with hey. So it'll be baniti, I built. Ata bonet, you are building. All right? Now, when you put that inside of the hitpa'el form of it, all right, it becomes hit bana. So we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. All right? All right? So, when you look, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to show, hopefully the people already have, okay, the 200 on it from earlier today, the 201 Hebrew verb book. Going to look at the word bana on page 38. All right? On page 39. You see it there? And it says what? To build oneself. So we can see how that works in that particular aspect. All right? So, once again, brothers and sisters, we have, and I want to explain this. All right? Hitpa'el is either, they saying in many scholarly things, the fifth or the seventh stem, and generally the reflexive, and periodically what they call the passive. All right? Wash. Hit rakets, to wash oneself. So hit rakatsti means I washed myself. All right? Ma'zah, to find. Hit ma'zeh, to be found. All right? So this is the lamed aleph because it ends with an aleph. All right? Then we have the lamed hey, bana, to build. Hit bana means to build oneself up, or he built himself up. To be noted for edification purposes how this works. All right? Are there any questions or comments concerning what we're dealing with right now? All right. This right here, brothers and sisters, is advanced Hebrew, but don't let it sit there and make people feel away or so forth and so on. All right? So hopefully it could be understood and clear for edification purposes. All right? So we're going to move on okay, in this particular aspect, remember, brothers and sisters, like I was saying, Hebrew is not hard. It's different, but it's not difficult. I said that March 5th, 2016, inside the second service when you go in the Shema Yisrael YouTube channel, right? Okay, so we're going to continue on with some more aspects in regards with the Hipa'el stem. We're going to get into biblical Hebrew tonight for beginners, all right? And then move on from that particular aspect. Okay, so moving on, all right, for edification purposes. We have who's trying to text me? I'm teaching now. Okay, all right, so the Hipa'el, okay, that we went over, pardon me, we are going to say that it has the prefix of this, all right, heat, in the past tense and in what is referred to as the command stem, all right? The command stem is also referred to as the imperative, all right? So if I were to say hitrakzi to a female, I'm telling that female to wash herself. If I say hitrakzu to males and females, I'm telling them to wash themselves, all right? If I'm saying hitrakzena, I am telling only several females, 2 or more, to wash themselves. So that is something I wanted to be noted. All right, so you have the heat aspect, and this serves as a prefix, all right? So we can gain an understanding on what we're talking about. And that's in the past tense of the Hipa'el and in the command form. The present tense of it has a prefix of a meat, okay? So this is the present tense aspect, all right? So here it is. We have meat rachet. I am washing myself. He meat rachet. She is washing herself. Anatnu meat rakzin. We are washing ourselves. Aten meat rakzot. You all feminine plural are washing yourselves. So I just want to show in the present tense, it has the prefix, okay, of this. This is how you teach Hebrew, so the people, okay, can gain a pattern of it, all right, and be able to see, know, and understand. Knowledge is power. You understand? So we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. I sat under my teachers. I sat under my teachers. I was taught and I was raised to be able to teach this. You understand? So I give thanks to the Most High in that particular aspect. All right? So we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. Now, the prefix in the Hipa'el stem, all right, has the meat in this particular aspect. So, are there any questions or comments concerning this particular aspect? All right. Now, what? Closer to me? Okay. So, what we're going to do now, okay, with the time allotted, because as I stated in like lesson 8, I got it. What I stated like in lesson 8 is we're going to start to really going in. All right. So it can be noted for edification and purposes. This is going to smell like straight bleach, which is not a problem, you know. So far as it goes down in that particular regard, you know? So we can gain an understanding, okay, of what we're talking about. Now, let's move on, all right, brothers and sisters, in what we are talking about. And here it is. Now, the future tense aspect of the hitpa'el stem, we want to sit there and deal right now in this particular regard. If those who've been following, you'll see that I laid down, blessed be the Father, the pattern and the person. If you get the 201 Hebrew Verb Book, which is available on Amazon, and then you get your Ben Yehuda Hebrew English Dictionary, you'll be able to move on in that particular regard and in that particular case. Okay, so the next thing we're going to sit there and deal with in the future tense, all right, is the hitpa'el future. And let's just take the word rakats, all right, that we've been using. All right? So we can begin to see what we're dealing with. We have et rakates. All right? Now, if we remember, the aleph serves as the prefix in that regard, okay, from the ani, for I or I am. All right? So et rakates means I will wash myself. All right? So then we have teat. All right? Now, these are just ditto marks. All right? Just saying it's the same thing again and again. All right? We have teat rakates, which means you will wash yourself. Then we have teat rak z. This is a yod. All right? Teat rak z, which means you will wash yourself. When you say in feminine, singular. Then you got masculine, singular. All right? So I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. Then we'll have yit rakates. All right? Which means he will wash himself. Yit rakates ba'am batyat. He will wash himself in the tub. All right, so that should be noted. Heat rakates means he washed himself. And yeet rakates, with the Y yod sound in the beginning, shows it to be that he will wash himself. Okay, then again, we have teat rakates. All right, if we remember, the second person in the future tense, masculine singular, is the same word for the third person, feminine singular. All right, so teat rakates means you will wash yourself, also meaning she will wash herself. All right, so we can gain an understanding. The same thing goes with the word labash, to wear. Et labesh, I will dress myself, or I will, dress myself. Teat labesh, teat labshi, yit labesh, teat labshi. All right, that's how that works with that. But the three root never leave from labash, or in this case, rakats. What we're going to deal with, we're going to, as this goes on, when the root itself changes. All right? So this is for Hebrew edification and purposes. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so what I'm going to do, all right, is erase this aspect and continue. If we remember and been following along, we're only dealing with so far, right? Excuse me. We're only dealing with so far the future tense aspect. All right? So let's continue in this particular regard. We have All right? Nit rachetz. We will wash ourselves. All right? Then you have tit. Tit rachatzu, which means you all will wash. Oh, I'm sorry. Supposed to put the wow here. Tit rachatzu. This is a wow. All right, just showing that the pattern of how move this. Showing sorry of the pattern and how that particular aspect works. All right. Then you have tit rachetzna. Very rarely used. Okay, we will wash ourselves. You all, masculine plural, will wash yourselves. You all, feminine plural, will wash yourselves. Tit rachatzna. That's very rarely used, but it's a word. All right? Then we have yit rakatzu. All right? They will wash themselves. If you want to put the pronouns, anatnu nit raketz, atem tit rakatzu, aten tit rakatze, tit raketzna, hein yit rakatzu, and then we have hein, okay? This is a yod, not a resh, all right? And then we have the tau and tau here again, all right? Yeah. Nah. Hein tit rachetzna. All right? They, feminine plural, will wash themselves. So I just want that to be noticed. If a man is talking to his wife about their 2 or more daughters, they will say, hein tit rachetzna. They will wash themselves. So I just want this to be noted for edification purposes. All right? About how that works in that regard. Okay? So, yes. This word and this word is the same exact word. If you remember that pattern that we went over the future tense from the PL stem, as well as in the qual stem, as well as in the Nephal stem. We covered a lot. You know, so just want that to be noted for reasoning purposes. As stated, I don't come here to play. You understand? It's not to sound haughty. I come from work. Blessed be the Most High. I got a job. I got to work tomorrow. You understand? So I'm coming. I live not to be nosy in my business in the Bronx. I'm staying out there. Shema, as you know, is in Brooklyn. Got to take public transportation back. I didn't come for the LOL and the jokes and the smallies and the lasciviousness. I didn't come to deal in that particular aspect. Now, why am I going there? Those who watch know exactly why I'm going there. But as far as it goes, you know, in that particular regard, this is not to waste anybody's time. All right? So this is to be done. Blessed be the Most High for the time and the opportunity to sit there and do this. When I was asked by the chief men of the congregation here to do it, I took it as an honor. You know, I was like, wow, me? Yeah, you know the language. So I was like, okay, you know, just took it and, you know, I was like, told out to the Father. But I know I'm not the best Hebrew teacher. I am not. I'm not as good as my teachers. But what I do always ask is there any constructive criticism? Because when we first started, remember the thing was the sound. Now the sound is better. Remember the thing, I can't see everything on the board. Now that's been cleared up. So we're trying, you understand, in that particular aspect to move on in that particular regard. All right, so next thing we want to sit there and deal with, all right? And that's this. The sentence structure, all right? We're going to deal with a little bit of what they refer to as biblical, all right, Hebrew. All right, so it can be noted for reasoning purposes. The sentence structure, all right? Okay. Here's how it works. The verb is the first part. All right. Then you have like akal. All right. Then we have the object. All right. Dawid. Tapuak. Apple. This will be the noun. In biblical Hebrew, you put the noun after the object, which would be in this particular case like the person. And then that is preceded by the verb in biblical sentence structure. All right, so I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. Akal Dawid Tapuak. All right, so that could be noted for reason and purposes. There's first part, second part, and third part. Now, because it's not on the wall, I'm not writing it all out, but I'm just letting it be seen how that particular aspect goes in that particular case. Are there any questions about what we just went over? Questions or comments? All right, so we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about and what we're dealing with. Okay. Now, in continuing on, all right, and what they refer to as, oh, and by the way, that doesn't matter if it's masculine, feminine, plural, or singular. All right, as far as biblical Hebrew sentence structure. All right, so the next thing, okay, to sit there and go over in that particular aspect, excuse me, all right, is we're going to sit there and deal, as stated, okay, in biblical Hebrew aspect. And here is what we're going to be dealing with. This is stated in many camps by many Israelites. All right? Yebarekha. All right? Matter of fact, Achi. Y'all got a Hebrew Tanakh here? Bavak. So as the brother goes and gets that, all right, just going to sit there and wait for it to be brought, because I did not, all right, no offense intended, bring mine. Okay, so just going to patiently wait, you know, in that particular aspect. All righty, the class is scheduled to end at 8:30. It is now 2 minutes to 8, so we got some more things to go over. While the brother gets that, going to advertise, yet again, my book. Says Deuteronomy 28:15-68. This is available on Amazon as well as CreateSpace. All right? And this book right here, Egypt Talking Writing, did the Torah come from the culture of Tameri? That too is also available on Amazon as well as CreateSpace. One of the books I cite is this book right here. All right? It's called The History of Ancient Israel by Michael Grant. All right, so just to be noted for edification purposes. This book right here gets into, in part, how in many cases, the Israelites, in their own accord, because that's one of the things I highlight in my books that I wrote, that the Israelites in their own volition did not go to Europe. The Israelites in their own volition went over to places in currently called the continent of Africa. I'm not stating that Israelites did not go into Europe, but we have to remember when we're reading in history, the word Jew, J-E-W, is not always applicable to the sons of Israel or the sons of Jacob. Why? Because the Edomites themselves actually became in part Jews. All right, when you go into the aspect of what happened with John Hyrcanus. So I just want that, okay, to be noted for edification purposes. So now that the brother brought the book up, we're going to go to the book of Numbers, chapter 6, all right, and verse 24, so we can see biblical Hebrew in this particular aspect. And I want to sit there and self-check myself in this particular regard as well for a particular reason. We have Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 24, and it says this, or verse 22. Wadaber Yehovah el Moshe lemor, daber el Aharon wa el Banai lemor, ko tebaruku et bnei Yisrael, amor lahem, yebarecha ya wa yishmarecha. Now, that's what I want to explain in that particular regard. And that's in verse 24 itself, actually. All right? Yebarecha, all right? Yah, wa yishmarecha. Okay. Now, this word, okay, Barek. By the way, I'm going to write this out. This is in Numbers 6. All right? Pardon me. Yeah, Barek, Barek, to bless. All right? With the vowels. Yeah? Barek, Ka. Now, this Ka Sofi, with the Quamats within it, right? That signifies what they call an inflection. Yebarek itself, right, means he will bless. Yebarek ka, he will bless you. All right, he will bless. He will bless you. All right, this ka comes from the root form otka, which is part of the pronouns ot, oka, otak, oto, ota, otanu, and so forth and so on. Yebarek ka, he will bless you. All right. Then we have wayish marech ka. Okay. Now, this yod, okay, signifies it also being in the future tense, like this one does. This wa represents the word and. All right. Pardon me. And he will keep you. If we remember that Hebrew is always read from right to left. All right. Wayish mareka. All right. So this is something I wanted to point out. Because if you remember last week, right, we went over biblical Hebrew partly and saying that when you have a future tense word biblically with a while next to it, it's become what they call the while hakipuk, or the while consecutive. However, that's not always conversational Hebrew. So we want to understand this. Yebareka, he will bless you. Wayish mareka, and he will keep you. All right? This ka, like this ka, coming from oka, means you. All right? Now, shamor, shin mem resh. Yush mareka. Shin mem resh means, as we remember, shamor means to guard, to watch, to keep, or to observe. All right? So when we read about Passover, it says Leil Hashimorim. It says a night of watching. All right? And it comes from that root word right there. But this is one case in biblical Hebrew where the while consecutive is not at work. Because it says, Yebarekaya wa yishmareka. That would mean if you're using a while consecutive, literally translated will be this. The Most High, he will bless you and he guarded you. But that doesn't operate in the translation. It says the Most High, he will bless you and he will keep you. All right, so I want this to be noted by the brothers and sisters, our people, all right, in regards to dealing with what we understand. The wow, Yoshim, and Resh Kasofi. Now, these lines you see right here and right here just showing a separation. Can I be heard clearly? All right, so remember, if you remember last week, we went over the while consecutive. And was the past becomes future and the future becomes past as far as it goes down in this particular regard. However, it doesn't work in this case, even though it's still in the Bible, in Hebrew. So let that be noted for edification purposes. Are there any questions? We're going to, as we continue on, all right, dealing with things of this nature. All right, when you see the Hebrew, all right, in that particular regard. This is the level in which we are at now and expounding upon this. Now, I want to state something. I do not teach how to do what they call parsing. And I don't spend a lot of time on that. Why? Because we dealt with from lesson 1 to lesson 22 and aspects of nouns, verbs, irregular nouns. One of the things that parsing, no offense, does not emphasize on is what they call the irregularities. You understand? Like last week, we went over what they refer to as the kirik, the e, the yod, and mem sofit. Panim meaning face. That's an irregular. It ends with the ing, but it's not a meaning in plural. All right? So we just want to know for edification purposes. This is how we teach over here in this particular regard with reasoning and sound structure. Okay, so we can gain an understanding in that particular regard. Now, okay, that's the next week's lesson. But, all right, we're going to conclude out, all right, with the time allotted. If there's any questions, let me know. We know we went over a whole lot, all right? You may want to look up wow consecutive, because it is biblical. However, it doesn't work in this particular aspect, all right? We're going to go over with the time remaining the list of the kings of Israel, all right? And we're going to make that lesson 27 part 2, all right? So we're going to close this particular aspect, and then what I'll call like a treat, quote unquote, will be in regard to that. So for the record, for those who happen to follow me, all right, 908-587-4841. You can call or text me, all right? So serious inquiries only, 908-587-4841. So this is lesson 27, part 1 concluded. Shalom.